Man.
Welcome.
Granola Man.
And Rye Man.
How are you feeling?
Rye Bread Man. You had rye breads.
I have.
Do you like it?
With butter.
Welcome, everybody. It's good to have you back. Hope you're checking us out. So we wish you could check
wink.
you out. Yeah. Anyways, how is everybody doing today? How are you, Ryan?
Good. It's a little over the starting time, but that's okay.
Just an hour and a half.
Yeah. Are you? How late can you stay up? Can you do the second part 2?
Part 2.
The game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Probably should ask you that before we started.
Maybe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's
well, you gotta put me on the spot here in front of everyone.
Right.
Everyone watching.
You can do it, right? You don't want to let everyone down, right?
There's one viewer watching right now. It's probably me. Judging me right now.
Cool. Well, why don't you go ahead and give us a recap and let's get started. Recap us.
Okay. Let's think. Don't tell me. It was a Pokemon episode with lots of Pokemon. Remember, there's lots. Oh, the hospital one. That's what it was.
I was say there was lots of Pokemon.
Yeah, rescue Chansey or something about Chansey, which was kind of misleading because Chansey wasn't really very much of a part of this episode, other than slapping Meowth around a little bit and getting orders from the doctor. But nonetheless, this episode goes a little like this. The gang, or I guess Pikachu swallows an apple whole. We don't know that yet. We just know he's kind of sick and dying.
He's choking.
So he's choking. So they don't know what to do. So Ash flips him upside down and starts shaking him. You know.
Just any new parents out there, don't do that.
Yeah. If your kid is choking, there's this very, very old maneuver. Do we do the Heimlich anymore?
It's a proven maneuver. Yeah, we do.
Yeah. It's not out of date. What you pretty much do is you put him on your arm and you smack the back of his back. Of his back.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, upward thrust.
Yeah, upward thrust.
Yeah, so they didn't do anything like
pelvic
that.
thrust.
They didn't do anything like that, so they took him to the human hospital because the Pokemon Center was too far away. The doctor there's like, oh man, freaking kids. I don't want to see anybody right now.
Freaking sick
people. I'm tired. I hate it when kids go to the hospital. But he's like, oh, Misty, you're good looking. I'll work on you.
Yeah.
And he just automatically assumes that Misty's the one that's sick. And gets her up on his table and it's up and close and personal. And then Ash is like, no, I need you to see a Pikachu. And he says, I'm a human doctor, not a Pokemon doctor. But eventually ends up helping, even though he doesn't want to. And then he finds out that Pikachu's got a big apple lodged in his throat. I know Ash is 10 years old, but like next time your animal's sick, like probably just check his mouth. That's one thing you can do. One thing you can always do.
Yeah, rule number one.
If it looks like they're choking, they're turning blue, like try opening their mouth, see if there's something stuck in there.
If they can't breathe, check the airway. It's just
that's literally like the first step of CPR, right?
Yeah.
After you tell people to call the hospital.
Call an ambulance. You get an AED.
You stick your head in his guy's mouth.
Checking pulse.
Yeah. Ryman's a real professional with this. He's had lots of emergencies in his hospital
with choking Pikachus.
Yeah. And so yeah, he takes the apple out, and magically Pikachu's back to normal. It's fine. And what happens after that is they get a phone call. Doctor doesn't want to answer the phone, so Ash does. And it turns out there's a big pile up, lots of car accidents. It's raining cats and dogs. It's yeah, it looks really bad. Like it looks like there's pieces of car shards inside of Pokemon. There's a Nidorino I'm pretty sure was dead, and I think Team Rocket was behind it all. Didn't mean to. I don't think they meant to do it, but they are. What is it called? The people that cause destruction.
They're a nuisance.
Sure, we'll go with that. They are a nuisance of destruction.
They're just
just a nuisance. They're just kind of annoying and things.
just agents of chaos.
Agents of chaos. That's what I was thinking. Agents of destruction and chaos. Not as much as Ash and the gang, but they're, they try. That's probably the only thing that Ash has them beat on Team Rocket, at least. And maybe catching more Pokemon. So what happens is all these Pokemon start coming into this human hospital because for some reason this town does not have a Pokemon Center. And Ash and the crew, they mask up and they help the doctor super gluing teeth back on Raticate, super gluing other body parts back, skulls back on Pokemon's heads. And some Pokemon just are in such bad shape that they need really hard cuddling with Misty to get better. And anyways, the doctor accidentally shoots himself up with what, I don't know, but he falls asleep. And so the crew needs to figure out what to do now without the doctor's assistance. And with Team Rocket attacking them with, let's see if I can remember this, stretcher catchers.
Yeah.
Stretcher catchers, yeah. Team Rocket's out in the back inventing new gadgets to take over the world. And I guess at the whole time Meowth is looking for his coin on top of his head because it's lost. There's a couple of double slaps by Chansey to Meowth. Lots of Pokemon. We see tons of sick Pokemon and hurt Pokemon. But in the end, I think the doctor wakes up and shows Team Rocket that he's got tons of needles in his jacket, which doesn't seem safe. Is that how you do it in the hospital, right, man? Mm-hmm. Do the doctors just walk around with all the uncapped syringes inside their jackets?
Oh, all of us did.
It was a normal occurrence to accidentally shoot morphine into your heart. Anyways, the Team Rocket runs away, which is too bad because the doctor actually really wanted a date with Jessie, a pizza date, and she was gonna get it. Not anymore. I guess her evil instincts are stronger than her instincts to find men.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't remember the end, really. Did they just keep working on Pokemon, I guess, and save the day? Something like that? I don't know. Do you remember the end?
Team Rocket gets chased out by their own stretcher catchers.
Right.
I think that is the ending. And then they all just...
Okay. And Meowth finds his coin. It was lodged inside of his brain.
Yeah. Remember,
yeah, that's about it.
James is like, I managed to steal one of them. And it was like the electrode.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it was a pretty fun episode. I enjoyed it. I don't know how much I'll remember from it, but, years from now, but...
I'll remember them
super
gluing Raticate's teeth back on.
Yeah.
And Pinsir's horn, and...
Yeah, that'll be hard for me to forget after making the thumbnail for that episode. Yeah, call me Dr. Elmer. Yeah, so that's what we got. That's the episode we got. Today's episode is called Holy Matrimony. I think I remember this episode. This is the episode where we get the backstory of James, I believe. Of his childhood. How he had a Growlithe. Do you remember this?
No.
No?
Not at all.
Okay, so I remember... I could be wrong, but I think this is the episode where James... We get to see James as a kid, that he had a Growlithe, and that his family was very wealthy, and they had him in an arranged marriage or something, and he didn't want to get married. And then he joins Team Rockets? I think? I don't know. That's my guess. But yeah, the whole this episode is what always kind of has me scratching my head when I see James being crazy about getting lots of money, because he kind of grew up with lots of money and it's not like a foreign thing to him. I mean, I guess if you're a kid and you have a lot of money, it's different than being an adult and having a lot of money. It's like what Shaquille O'Neal tells his kid. He's like, "I'm rich. You guys aren't rich. I'm rich. You guys got to go to school."
That's good words of advice.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready to get going?
I mean, yeah, unless you have something to comment.
Nah. Let's go. Let me know when you have the episode pulled up too, so do a 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. YouTube? No. I am not.
Welcome back, YouTube. Welcome back. I'm not sure what you missed, to be honest. I'm not sure what I just saw.
Yeah, that was an interesting episode. Yeah, man. What was that all about, right, man?
Man, like I just saw it, I'm already having trouble recalling it. So, it starts off with our group of protagonists walking down the side of a road where they come across a missing sign of what appears to be little boy James from Team Rocket. Sure, love the hair, Brian. Yeah, it's pretty epic.
Oh, thanks, Victor. Shadrach, appreciate it.
This poster is obviously from like at least 6-10 years ago.
Wait, what's that? What's from 6 or 10 years ago?
This poster of James, like it was definitely.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely pre-puberty, and James now is at least a young adult.
Right.
But just upon viewing the poster, a limo pulls up where a man with a megaphone screams that they've seen that guy, and where heroes say they may know him, he grabs them like a human trafficking person and just yanks them into the car.
You don't know what the human trafficking persons are called?
Nuisances?
Nuisances, yeah. Obviously.
He explains how he's been looking for him. And, excuse me, they arrive at a mansion, right? They're like, there's got to be at least 100 bedrooms, like it's gigantic. And what is revealed to be the butler is like, no, actually that's just for Growlithe the dog.
Yeah.
The real mansion's over there, and it goes to a even bigger mansion.
Just kind of foreshadowing, right?
Yeah.
I think it was foreshadowing, because why can't Growlithe live with everyone else?
So they explore the entranceway of the mansion, and they notice 2 coffins where we are told that is where Jesse's parents are. I guess they should keep the bodies in the lobby if this was real, you know. And they died yesterday, and they died from a broken heart from James running away. It begs the question how long they've been pulling the scheme off for. If this has been going on for like a decade of them pretending to be dead every day.
Right.
Or what is really going on here.
Yeah, I would like to know that. What is really going on here?
The butler explains that the parents are dead and they left everything to James, with the catch that he has to marry someone in the next 24 hours. I feel like this is like a pretty popular trope, you know, like Beauty and the Beast, you know, like you have to fall in love before the rose dies. And
yeah.
Guess what? It's dying.
Guess what?
Team Rocket's listening in and they want the money. So they coerce James by force to come home and marry this girl.
Yeah.
James has proclaimed many times that he does not want this, so this is all against his will. As they are mourning the parents, or pretending to, it is revealed that the parents aren't dead and were just pretending to be dead in the coffins. And that the whole thing was a scam to get James to come back. They take them all upstairs. To meet the fiance, who is a Jesse lookalike, oddly enough. The universe is funny like that sometimes, I guess.
Like your fiance looks exactly like your best friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she says, why don't we go and do something together? Like, count all the money we'll be inheriting together.
That sounds like a huge red flag.
Yeah. So that's just a pastime that she's been doing while he's away.
Yeah,
So,
you forgot about the Team Rocket's disguise.
Oh my gosh. That's like one of the best parts. So Team Rocket's disguise is they are wearing like backstage like just black clothes as if they're like in a theater and are just manipulating his limbs like a puppeteer. And no one seems to notice so far.
So far.
They get
another red flag.
Yeah. So they finally go down to what looks like the dungeon is going down and like eventually turns into like stone and wood like you'd find like in a dungeon or prison or something. And they continue their descent until they reach a big door, and instead of money behind the door, they find gym equipment and all kinds of stuff to, I guess, make him more physically fit.
To whip him in shape.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because fiance Jessie pulls out a whip where it is revealed that she is there to whip him into shape. And also
Jessie Bell.
Jessie Bell. And it is announced that they actually knew Team Rocket was there the whole time. They just went along with it with a very straight face.
What a twist, man. What a twist.
The whole thing is just weird. It's like I'm just 3 ducks in a man costume.
I feel like also his mom kind of looked like Jessie as well.
Yeah, all the girls look like Jessie in this episode.
Yeah. It was very, very weird. I feel like James is incapable. This is like a show out of a nightmare. Like, could you imagine if all the women in your life, no matter where you go, just they all look like your mom?
Have you seen the Suicide Squad, the newer one?
Yeah.
With the Pokenana guy, and like everyone says
yeah.
mom.
Yeah, exactly, just like that. Yeah, just like that.
And like when he shoots like the ankle of the starfish, and like it's falling down, you see the mom.
Yeah. Exactly. That's James's life right now. Everyone just looks like his mom.
And so I'm just gonna fast forward a bunch of non-essential parts. They are eventually stun spored, kicked out of the thing, and where they come across Growlithe, with the help of our protagonist, break open the locked door it's locked behind, and it rushes down and saves James.
Yeah, they all just hold waists together.
Yeah.
And pull on the door.
They make little like the monkey links.
Yeah.
chain and just pull.
Why would that ever work? That's so
Don't
stupid.
you know? Friendship is stronger than steel.
I guess so.
That's what we call an
Dumbest thing I've ever seen.
An old-fashioned lockpick is what that.
Oh man, I feel like you'd pull someone's back before you open a locked door.
Yeah. The episode ends with Team Rocket reuniting and Jezebel chasing our protagonist into the sunset.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely didn't cover everything because there's just so much going on.
So much. I mean,
we would be here for like an hour for you just to tell us everything that was going on.
Right, in this 30-minute episode.
Yeah.
Like,
dude,
it's so
I
weird.
know we...
Like,
I know when we're talking about an episode, we like really expand on it, but this one is too much.
Like, and the weird part was like this episode started off with them talking about the egg, and then it's never brought up or seen again.
That's true. They were having an excellent... Was that excellent day?
Yeah.
Exciting day? Exciting?
Exciting.
It was a sunny side up day.
Yeah, man. What are your thoughts on this episode? I'm curious to hear this.
I do always appreciate the one-liners. There's quite a few in this episode. I wish I wrote all of them down, but there's just so much going on. It's hard to keep up with everything. There's Brock saying that every rose has its thorns. There's Jezebel. There's a part where she whips James into the floor and she says, "I knew you'd fall for me, May."
Isn't that every rose has the thorns? Like it's a song, right?
It is, yeah. What was there's one that the dad says. He said James is like a bee without a nose, never smelling the daffodils of life.
Yeah.
Which is something I think we should bring back and use. Whenever someone isn't living to their fullest potential, you just say he's like a bee without a nose.
You're like a bee without a nose.
Missing out on smelling the daffodils of life. Okay, so one thing I did enjoy about this episode was, and enjoy is the wrong word. One thing that I thought was good about this episode is they did a really good job of making James feel trapped. I don't know if you've seen movies or shows where your heart starts thumping a little bit when your main character or the one person you're rooting for in a movie or a show is in a situation that's not good and they're trapped. That book that you had me listen to, was it the Red Queen or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was kind of like Red Queen. Yeah, it's kind of like the Red Queen, where the whole time she's trapped, This is kind of how I felt with James. There was a lot of moments in this episode where I was like, "Oh, geez, this is not good." But then I'd get distracted by all the nonsense going on. So there was some moments of that, of just feeling trapped, and I think they did a good job in those moments to make us kind of feel for James, like really feel bad for him. James was, say he was a pretty cute little boy. One of the highlights of this episode was when he was telling his story as if it was someone else, because he's already distanced himself so much from his former life that now when he thinks about his former life, it's as if it was some other little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate sometimes with that. I think a lot of people can relate with it. And he remembers just kind of freezing and Growly, his little Growly saying "Growl," as he was freezing out on the street. And this was such a touching story that everyone started crying. Brock even says something like, "I can't believe James is gone,"
Yeah.
as James is telling them the story. That was pretty funny. I thought it was interesting to have Vileplume as one of the villains. Not a Pokemon that I would usually see as a villain. One I usually relate to Erica, I guess. Yeah, they had a pretty quick battle between Pikachu and Growlithe kind of working together to take out Vileplume. Kind of cheating in a Pokemon battle. That's cheating, as we've been told. But yeah, it was a nice little scene. Again, I'm waiting for an actual fight where we get back and forth. This one was Stun Spore, and then Thundershock and Flamethrower at the same time, and that was the end of the battle. I appreciate it because I feel like we haven't had any battling in a few episodes. But yeah, it was all right. All in all, I don't think I could evaluate this episode better than the narrator does at the end, where he says, what does he say? He said, and Ash maybe learned a valuable lesson. Or did Ash learn a valuable lesson?
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. Like, did we learn anything?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
You guys are running all wrong.
Did we? I don't know. I guess we've learned that it's better to live the low life than the high life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess the ending was really nice with James. When with Jesse and Meowth thinking that James was, going to stay, and then he shows up in his Meowth balloon with his prepare for trouble, and Jesse says make it double, and then she's so happy to see him, and he pulls her up onto the balloon, and then they shake hands. It was cute. It was a rough episode, not a great episode, but within all the chaos, there were definitely some good moments. Not many, but a few.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Man, so I feel like this episode was all over the place, man. I just can't stress that enough. We start with our heroes finding a wanted sign where they're kidnapped and forced to go to a mansion. I feel like if you had summed this episode up with one word, it would be consent. Because there's not a lot of that going on this episode.
Not a lot of that going on.
Growlithe is locked in a mansion against its will. Our heroes are brought there against their will. James is brought into the mansion against his will. James is being led through this whole extravagant plan of getting married through false pretenses. Just deceit and lies. Like it's no wonder why he has completely disassociated from his younger life. and why he clings onto Jesse more as a supervisor than like a partner, because he probably has parent issues, you know, and authority issues. Can
I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Wait, before you go on, what leads someone to become like just Jezebel?
I feel like if you grow up in a world where you are given everything you want, you become entitled to everything you want.
Even if you have to force people to be the way you want.
Yeah, because you are entitled to it and it's yours, and if someone is resisting it, they are in your way. Like they are right. Stopping you from getting what's yours, you know?
Yeah, but she never gets mad about that. Because I feel like when I think of entitled, when I think of someone that's entitled and doesn't get what they want, in general, they get angry.
No,
Jezebel does not get angry.
She was entitled, but she was also in control most of the episode. The whole time, Team Rocket thought they were playing them, but they were playing Team Rocket.
Yeah.
From pretending to go along with their, like their walking stunts, to using their greed to lure them into the trap of the basement. If anything you thought of that Team Rocket would do, like, oh, we'll lie and just like scam them for the money, they were one step ahead of them the whole time.
Right, yeah.
And she didn't start to get upset until she lost that control with the Growlithe battle.
Yeah.
But
even then, she wasn't really that upset. She was still like chasing after him.
She's probably also
with a smile on his face.
She's probably also a sociopath who doesn't understand human emotions, connections.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Sounds right.
Yeah. She probably views people more as things than.
Yeah.
Than
like this thing is broken. I need to fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
And she probably also, and judging from everyone's tone, everyone also just thinks they know what's best for James. Like he doesn't have that free will, that agency to decide for himself what he wants, needs, likes, in his own life. Everything is predetermined. And it's shown through a physical example of a arranged marriage. That while things may look nice on the outside, like these mansions, they can be very chaotic, ugly in the inside, like Jezebel. This episode is deeply rooted in trauma and just, dude.
Yeah, to say the least.
And the fact that, like, James genuinely cared for that Growlithe,
But he cared about his parents, too, because he left the Growlithe behind to take care of the parents.
Yes.
Even though they're probably just going to lock him back into that other mansion.
Yes, but James didn't know that the Growlithe was locked in a mansion. I can't imagine leaving abusive place and leaving someone I care about behind. That's either gotta be the most difficult thing ever, or you really don't care about that person,
Yeah. That's rough. That's tough. Let's try to keep things a little more light, right, man? You're bringing me down, bro.
Right.
Don't bring me down. Have you seen that Family Guy episode?
No. I'll say though, I did like the little back and forth with Vileplume and Growlithe. I honestly am just glad to see Vileplume, even if it is a bad guy, you know.
Yeah, no, I enjoy when they use Pokemon that you wouldn't consider villains to be working for the villain of the episode.
Yeah, and this episode was very unique in the way too that our protagonist was the side characters, and Team Rocket was in the forefront, whereas in every other episode it's usually the opposite. You know.
Yeah.
Sure. This would have been a good time to develop the characters. You know. Not just James. You know, we see a little bit of James's past, but it doesn't really explain who he is, you know? Because he has a literal mental breakdown, and everyone dismisses it over and over and over again. You know, I can't imagine what that does to a person, but I feel like we are just shown his trauma over and over and over again, but we're not able to see his growth through the trauma because we don't get a glimpse of him as a child, aside from that Growlithe story. But we don't know the backstory of that, you know?
Yeah, I don't think he's grown that much, though. That's the thing. Like, he hasn't confronted this stuff, but he also hasn't, like, really grown. Joining Team Rocket is definitely an upgrade from living with his parents and getting married to Jessica.
How ironic.
But, you know, like, I guess he's a good magician.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a man of many talents, you know, which he would never got to hone or done, you know, if he were to have stayed home with his parents.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I bet it's one of the hardest things in the world to do is to leave an abusive household, you know, and to leave an abusive parent who that's all you've known, you know, your whole life.
Yeah. But I mean, he was at the point when he's recalling his story, walking around in the cold, he was at the point where he was willing to die to get away from his parents.
I'm just saying, like, if you have a fire type and you freeze to death, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Something's wrong.
I don't know. Anything you want to add before we go on to the...
No. Not really. This was like you said, this was an episode with some heavy hitting trauma. And you know, if anything, I hope it just makes us appreciate and love James a little bit more. Because he's still kind of he still is that little kid. He hasn't changed.
Oh yeah,
he hasn't really done anything to grow or leave that behind.
The fact that it ends on such like a positive note, you know, I feel like it's so symbolic of him escaping his mansion and reuniting with his actual family. You know, Jesse and Meowth, who care for him, you know. You just don't know how to show it sometimes, you know.
Yeah, honestly, this episode made me like James more than I already did, and I've always liked James pretty good. Yeah, I'd say this is my favorite episode for James. Like, as far as like getting to know James. And my favorite episode for Jessie was definitely the Ghastly one. Just because we know that she don't settle for men. Mm-hmm. She don't settle for anything, and she's feisty.
Yeah, I love it.
And she takes care of her friend. James. Mm-hmm. So that's a callback to the Ghastly episode. That was a good one.
Yeah, it definitely, you know, it did. I feel like it did shine a light on James. You know, he's no longer this like two-dimensional airhead. You know, like we know a little more about him now. But
yeah, well, shall we go to the encounters?
Yeah.
Yeah, Oddish, Vileplume, and Growlithe.
Oddish. Oh yeah, the bomb or something was holding Oddish, right?
When it showed the flashback,
Yeah.
it was still an Oddish, yeah. I know who you're picking. Actually, I don't know. You kind of do like Vileplume. I'm guessing you're still gonna go with Growlithe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of any of these Pokemon, but I'll probably still go with Growlithe too. He's a cutie. He's a cutie. Oh, so Magikarp. I forgot. Magikarp too.
Oh yeah. There you go. Do you want a Gyarados? We know who Lethal Squirts would pick.
Yep. I don't know. It seems like too much work to evolve a Magikarp. Like, in the game, you just, bring him in and then switch him out. But in real life, or in anime life, I imagine it's very hard to do.
Just kick it, bro.
Yeah, but then he disowns you and attacks you.
Then you
that seems to be the case. Usually Magikarps, when they evolve, they're so angry that they just disown you. I imagine, like, people that actually have Gyarados as their Pokemon must have caught them in the wild and just been really good at battling water Pokemon.
What I would do is I'd kick it, evolve it, return it, and then I would drop it off at a daycare and be like, I'll be back for this thing.
I healed you after I kicked you. We're friends, remember?
Yeah, I saved you from the daycare man.
Yeah. I wonder if a Pokemon really wants to, they can, like, hit the ray away when you're asking them to return.
Oh.
I know they can dodge that ray, but I wonder if they can hit it away.
I've seen them, like, block it, like with their tail and stuff.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. It might be hard to bring him back if he doesn't want to go back in the ball.
Yeah. Then I just die. It'd be risky.
Be risky. I mean, out of those four, yeah, I guess I'll go with Magikarp. That's fine.
That's not a bad choice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what I changed about this episode. And I feel like so much, but then again, I'm like, man, but everything just ties back to James's trauma,
Yeah. I mean, I think you could probably take away all the scenes of the transitions from going from upstairs, or going from the coffins to upstairs, going from the upstairs to the dungeon, going from the dungeon to the Growlithe mansion. They moved around a lot, and you probably could have cut a lot of that out.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like I would have switched to Growlithe with a coughing, and like showed how the bond developed between them two.
Coughing. Yeah. Like a different coughing, you mean?
No, his coughing.
His wheezing?
Yeah, it's a wheezing now. But I mean,
Yeah.
back then it would have been a coughing,
Yeah. Oh, man. I guess. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if we get an episode where we get to see how they caught coughing in Ekans. Or I think they've talked about it, right? They're just Team Rocket gave it to him, right? Giovanni?
No, Jessie got hers as a Christmas gift.
Oh, that's what it was.
And
Okay.
James... I don't remember James's. It's in the Giant Pokemon episode.
Bro, I would love to get a snake for Christmas.
Alright.
That'd be fun.
Would you love to get a coughing for Christmas?
Oh, man. That sounds like a irresponsible Pokemon.
But not the snake.
No, snakes can be pretty docile.
But in Ekans?
Yeah. I imagine Ekans can control when it spews poison and doesn't.
Yeah. But
I feel like coughing would have a harder time with that.
It's also always like burrowing though. And just like
Ekans dig.
yeah. No, my new floors.
My floors, my doors, my
Whores.
Oh man. Yeah, so I
I would
if
probably
you don't
also
mind,
have them. I don't know. I really don't know what I would. I feel like there's so much I would want to change about this episode, but I don't know what on top of my head.
Oh man, okay. So the ending is perfect. I would leave the ending the same. The beginning, I think the beginning was right to the point, which was good. You know, oh look, there's little James. You know him? Come over here. Like it was very quick, but that's kind of how it had to be. It's all the middle chunks.
I would probably have the poster a little more worn, too, like it's been there for years.
I mean, I don't know, because I think they probably change it every day, or have the butler change it every day. They're so rich. You know?
Yeah.
They're so rich. They can still do the coffin thing where they pretend that they're dead to just lure James in, because that's just so evil.
I know.
It's just so evil. So I would keep that. And then instead of all the transitions, like just how they did it, we meet Jezebel, and instead of her like whipping him and beating him, maybe we could just see how manipulative she is and gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of gaslighting from her. And then maybe like Jesse and Meowth are still focused on the money, but then once they see like how it's affecting James, like how his trauma is coming all back to him and how it's really like weighing on him, they can change their mind. Not because there's no money for them, but because they feel bad for James. You know?
I hope that Pokemon continues to evolve Jesse and James, because I know they're in a lot of seasons.
They're still there, bro.
Yeah. And I hope like it wasn't just his first season. That kind of gives them backstory.
And I hope they stay true to what we've gotten so far too.
Yeah.
Like, let's not give them like a different backstory later. I know there's like an episode, I don't know when, but there's an episode where, in one of the newer episodes, where Ash sees a coughing and he's like, "What Pokemon is that?"
Oh no.
And everybody's like, "What? Are you serious?" And he gets his Pokedex trying to figure out what it is.
What the heck?
And the whole Pokemon community is like, "What's this? How could you forget?"
Yeah, really though.
So I hope we don't have things like that happen with Team Rocket.
Oh, that's so bad.
Or even Ash. Yeah. It's so ingenuine, right? Yeah, no, it's so bad. So I hope we don't have too much of that in the later seasons.
Okay, so what you rating it?
Or
do you want me to go first?
Either way.
I
know what I'm rating it, but if you know what you got, then go.
I rated 4 dead parents.
4? Wow. That's an Owen Wilson. Wow.
I'll say this. It was not like a cinematic masterpiece. It was riddled.
Yeah,
it was riddled with tons of problems. But I feel like just the depth of trauma they were willing to show a character go through really resonates, with me. Like, I feel immense shame and guilt for James. Like, it makes me appreciate him more.
Yeah.
And it's so rare that a Pokemon episode makes me feel something genuine for a character.
True.
They were able to invoke these emotions from me.
Yeah, that's true. And I gotta give it to you. I gotta give you that for sure. Wow, I cannot go that high.
I do not blame you. You're like, man. Yeah, I don't feel anything. I just...
Bro, like, I can relate to so much that went on in this episode. from my childhood. Oh my gosh, it's especially the whole him being able to just disassociate himself, his younger self, with who he is now. I feel like our observations of this episode and the things we were able to grab from this episode are maybe a 4-star. But like the way they portrayed it is not. Oh man, it's rough. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll just go down. I'm gonna go down the middle then on this one.
Is it 2.5?
2.5. Yeah, I'll give it 2.5. Monkey chain pulls.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I see it's not good enough for you.
Ah, no way! Yeah. Okay. They are contested on Nothing's Ever Good Enough. And I think we should call some things are good enough sometimes, on rare occasions. It's the Poliwag line. Oh, so good. I'm happy now.
All is forgiven and forgotten.
All is forgiven. If this is where, if this journey is where if this is the destination the journey led us to, then I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah, we're gonna play a game with the next evolutions, okay?
Okay. How does it go?
But let's start with Poliwag. I love Poliwag. I feel.
Me too, man. Me too.
I feel like this is, man, almost a perfect Pokemon.
Is it the lips?
He doesn't have lips. He doesn't have a mouth. Wait, do you think that's the mouth again?
Yeah.
Bro, it's the nose.
No, don't tell me that's a nose. That's a mouth.
What?
It's a mouth.
Then how come the other ones have noses but no mouths?
That's the way it works. Don't tell me this is another Diglett thing, I swear. It's his mouth. It has to be.
No.
It opens. Look, you see that? He shoots water out of it.
Where do you see that?
Right there.
Oh, you know what? I stand corrected. It is me this time, I think, who has misinterpreted the nose.
Okay, good.
Because that is I can't argue with this.
Yeah.
You're right.
Unless he does snot rockets. His water guns are just snot rockets.
Ugh.
That's a pencil sharpener.
This makes me uncomfortable.
Pencil sharpener?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, let me relook at this now without a mouth. I don't like that mouth.
Is it the lips? Are they too pursy for you?
It looks like a butthole.
Too bubbly? It looks like a butthole. It kind of does.
Oh man. I mean, it's still such a good design. I can't even really.
Yeah.
I can't hate on it, no matter what. Like, mouth, nose, whatever. Like the tail, the little feet, like everything. The little swirl. I love it. Like.
I love that tail, man. That tail's beautiful. I thought you wouldn't like the feet because it's kind of like Golbat's feet.
Oh my gosh. No, Golbat's feet are
or Oddish's
in the middle. It's like Oddish Butterfree feet.
Yeah, but you don't like Oddish feet.
They are big and clumpy, but this guy's a swimmer. I like him.
Okay. I like him. Leave me alone.
It doesn't unmatch him, you know. Like, I feel like he'd have to have long, wide feet in order to balance this big circle. You know?
Yeah.
What do you think about him?
Such a unique design. The
Yeah.
whole spiral thing, so cool. They could have just done the tadpole thing. They could have taken out the white and the spiral thing and just gave him a blue belly, But the whole spiral thing really makes this Pokemon stand out. And I feel like you could almost put that tail on any Pokemon and it would probably make him look better. Almost any Pokemon. It's a very cute tail. Very cute Pokemon. Yeah, the mouth, it's pretty pink. It's like very pink and very like big. Like it does look like he got a little bit of a mouth job. Or like stung by a killer bee or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't even have to overlook it because it just kind of goes really well. Everything goes really well with this Pokemon. I love Poliwag. I love spoilers. I love everyone in this line.
Mm-hmm.
And so next would be Poliwhirl. And I think so. We did our top 10 favorite Pokemon video. You can catch that on YouTube. But if we were to do like our top 20, Poliwhirl would be in there. I did have one of the top 10 be someone from this line. But Poliwhirl would definitely be up there, man. It is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. Okay. I know he looks very similar to Poliwrath.
Yeah.
What's that?
So we're gonna play a game, okay?
Oh, okay. What's the game?
It's called Spot the Difference.
Okay.
This is a Poliwhirl.
Okay.
And this is a Poliwrath.
Yeah. Yeah, so Poliwhirl still has the circle spiral, right? As Poliwrath has more of a like mouth spiral.
Oh, that is a good distinction.
Yeah, so I do enjoy the circle more than the mouth. I think it looks better. And just Poliwrath just kind of has like his shoulders kind of go up. They have like it seems like he has no neck. Not that any of them have necks, but Poliwhirl has a little bit of arms going on, a little bit of skinny arms going on. And I guess we could judge both of them at the same time because they're very similar. So, but the things that I like that Poliwhirl has that Poliwrath doesn't have, I really love on Poliwhirl. But as it evolves, those things that change don't make a big enough difference for me not to love Poliwrath as well.
Yeah.
Just not as much. I don't know. What about you? Do you see any more differences?
No.
No.
I feel like you covered them. I gotta be honest with you. I freaking love it. Too.
Whatever it is.
It almost hurts my feelings that I've never done a run with a Poliwrath on my team.
That is interesting.
Is it
because he's a physical attacker?
No, I've always just...
he's fighting type?
I've always just not used him, but I loved him. I've always just had other Pokemon on my team.
Okay. I've used him, but usually when I use him, it's because of the fighting type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the next type runs we do, or something we do, I'll have to use him.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you know what? Maybe what's his stats? Maybe I'll use him instead of Arcanine.
Okay. Let me look it up.
Mm-hmm.
As you tell me more about your love for the worlds and wraths of the world.
Funny enough, Poliwhirl and Poliwrath.
He has so many weaknesses, though.
We're actually one of the first Pokemon I've ever saw. And I fell in love with Pokemon. Uh-huh.
Oh, cool. Was it the gold-plated thing?
Yeah, so they will always have that nostalgia for me. Like, when I think of Pokemon and discovering Pokemon, Poliwhirl and Poliwrath were one of the first ever that I saw and fell in love with.
Yeah. That's awesome. I was so happy when they put them... I mean, I never went to Burger King, but those gold-plated things, cards that they made.
Yeah.
They made one of for some reason, like, they had, the favorites, like Pikachu and I don't know who else they had. Mew, too, I guess. But then they put Poliwhirl in there, and I was so happy about that. Yeah, so I don't know if you'd want to do a solo run with him, because he's weak to Flying, Grass, Electric, and Psychic.
Oh, jeez. Maybe not.
So he's got the fighting weaknesses and then the water weaknesses.
He's got all of them.
Yeah. But then, he's resistant to rock, bug, steel, fire, water, ice, and dark. So he has a lot of resistances, too. Oh, I love it when they do the anatomy. It's so cool.
I guess it's going to depend on what region we're doing.
Kanto.
So his weaknesses are electric. There's an electric gym. Flying.
There's a grass gym.
Grass. Yikes.
Yeah, a good Pokemon to have, but maybe not for a solo run.
Yeah. Oh man, I like this color on him. I love this design. I love it.
Ditto. Ditto. Oh yeah, it's about to go down. Politoed, my boy.
Oh, what a cool
Oh
design.
man, this guy's in my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Dang, I love Politoed. And it blows my mind because the Poliwag line is just so perfect. Why did they have to add another one? And then they added another one that looks nothing like the rest of them, and it's still so adorable, so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Cutest Pokemon in my book. If I had to do a top 10 cute Pokemon, that's number 1. He's just adorable. I want to have him as a pet. And he just looks like a frog. He looks like a beautiful, beautiful frog. And frogs are cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his little curly Q. Yeah, I mean, you want my thoughts on Politoed, please watch our top 10 Pokemon that we made, video that we made. But yeah, Politoed is my favorite. I love it. It's gorgeous. I guess you didn't really say much about it, though, during our top 10. What do you think about Politoed?
You mean Unifrog?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Unifrog.
He's cute. He's a good design. I feel like if you look at Poliwag, you can definitely tell he's a tadpole. And nothing else in the evolutionary line kind of gives frog vibes.
Right.
And I feel like this kind of corrected that, which I appreciate. I feel like he's a solid Pokemon. I appreciate the design. I'm glad they made him. I'm really glad he exists. I probably wouldn't ever use one, but
he's
I like
more
it that
special.
I like he's an option.
You like that he's an option for other people, not me.
Yeah.
He's more of a special attacker.
It's a lot of work, just for someone else.
Just for someone else. He goes along better with the water typing too, because he's more of a special attacker.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have to deal with all the fighting weaknesses, although it is nice to have a fighting type. But yeah, if I had to pick between him and Poliwrath, I'm going Politoed.
Anyway. So what would you rate this
And
line?
I also grew up on Johto, and that's a Johto Pokemon, so. What am I rating this? 5 out of 5.
Oh.
5 out of 5 curly spinneroonies. How about 5 out of 5 spinneroonies?
You got a Beedrill status.
Politoed's time has come. Yeah. Not Beedrill status, because Kakuna and Weedle were not 5 out of 5s. I'm giving 5. I would give a 5 to Poliwag, I'd give a 5 to Poliwhirl, I'd give a
You know what? We agree this
Probably give a
episode.
5 to Poliwrath and 5 to Politoed.
We agree this episode because I'm giving it a 5 across the board too.
Yeah.
There's nothing I would change about any of these Pokemon. I mean, like, maybe if I was super picky, I'd probably give a little more distinction between Poliwhirl and Poliwrath, but I mean, that's really fine.
Like give
you know?
Poliwrath some bigger muscles.
Yeah.
Like
Just
give
like
Poliwrath
two-
like big muscles.
Like,
make,
they can't even, like, scratch
like-
its head, big muscles. You know, like, just...
yeah, like Mega Swampert muscles.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that'd actually be pretty sick.
Yeah. A Mega Swampert looking Poliwrath would be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That would be pretty sick, dude.
Actually, look up Mega Poliwrath. Let's see what DeviantArt we have for Mega Poliwrath. If anyone's done something like that. Ugh. Make it look more fighting, I guess. I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I'm not liking any of these so far. Oh my goodness. Why are the tails coming out of its arms?
Yeah.
It's got butt arms. I guess that one's okay.
Almost like a Battletoad.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, this one say a street shark.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
I don't like this.
I don't like this.
Oh.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, okay. He's got the brass rings, brass knuckles. Oh, that's not bad. It's got like a triangle form.
Here we go.
There you go. Oh, there's the Mega Swampert. Yeah. Oh, never mind. That's like a Mega Water Starters.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, who did
It even
this?
says that it's got a tongue scarf. And the Peralligator crown.
He's got like the
So
penguin
that's
beak.
pretty- Yeah.
Oh my goodness, who
That's
did that?
It's clever.
Here we go.
There we go, yeah! Perfect. That looks like one of those little toys that you put into the water and it expands.
Why is this This should be Poliwhirl. Oh my gosh.
It's really cute. Just like his arms were still growing.
Eeh.
It still goes small.
Why did it go small? Oh man, I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah, those are cute, those little hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's some Pokemon that are cool, some Pokemon that are powerful, there's some Pokemon that are cute. This one has all of it. It's got cute, it's got cool, it's got power, it's got undies.
I like how this one has like a banana hammock. This one got some junk.
Yeah. Yeah. Use Whirlwind. Dang, once again. Ooh. Dude, I really like that Toxicroak a lot. He's got his, what is that thing called? The throat thing that the frogs have?
Yeah.
The pouch?
Mm-hmm.
Has spikes on it.
That is
That's
pretty cool.
badass. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, man. Today, it was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's good enough.
Oh no.
Nope, burn it. Mega Man.
Alright.
Beautiful Pokemon.
Well, that was interesting.
Didn't know what you were in for today, huh? I didn't either. I did not remember all the trauma.
No.
I just remembered him being rich.
Looks
and
like
having a garage.
you disassociated also.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us today.
Yeah.
On our Pokenana podcast / Poke Showing.
Alright, guys. Peace out.
See ya. Bye.